ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। सुखं नित्यं स्वप्रकाशं व्यापकं नामरूपयोः अधिष्ठानं बुद्ध्यबोध्यं बुद्धिर्दृग्यत्तु निर्मलम् अपारं सर्ववेदान्तवेद्यं प्रत्यक्परं महः तदेवाहं न मत्तोऽन्यदिति मे निश्चितामति। So we are seeing the Upadesha given to Madhyamadhikari Adrishtihi. And Adrishti, Madhyamadhikari, had a question regarding Samsara Utpattihi, creation of this world, and in that connection Maya Swarupam was presented because Maya is involved in the creation. And after Maya, Ishvara Swarupam is talked about because mainly Ishvara is considered to be the Karanam for which Maya is Upadhi. And regarding Ishvara, it was said Ishvara is Abhinna Nimitta Upadana Karanam. It is both. It is Upadana Karanam and Nimitta Karanam. So Karanam Vividam Upadana Karanam Nimitta Karanam Cheti यत् कार्यस्वरूपे प्रविशति यद्विना कार्यस्य स्थितिः नास्ति तद् उपादान कारणम् उच्यते यथा मृत् घटस्य उपादान कारणम्. And why घट मृत् is considered to be घटस्य उपादान कारणम्? For that answer was given. घटस्वरूपे मृदः प्रवेशः अस्ति मृदं विना घटः न स्थितिं लभते च. So we have to supply तस्मात् मृत् घटस्य उपादान कारणम्. So it is called Lakshana Samadvaya. Lakshana Samadvaya means applying the definition to a particular case. So Lakshana Samadvaya was done in the Drashtanta. Alright, and in that connection, this Upadana Karana context, we were seeing the Tippani Jagadutpatti Vishaye आरंभ परिणाम विवर्तवादानां मध्ये विवर्तवाद एव श्रेयान् इति विचारतः सिद्ध्यति. So there are three vadas, three views presented regarding the creation of this world, and among these three the Vivartavada is the best, that is established on inquiry. Vicharatah means on inquiry, by inquiry, on inquiry. And then explanation was given that how the Arambhavada is not defect free, how it has got defect. The last line it was given, Advitiya Brahmanaha Aparichinnattvena Niravayavatvat Na Tataha. Tataha means not therefore. I had said therefore, but afterwards I had corrected. Tataha means Brahmanaha Savayavam Jagat Pruthak Jayeta Na Pruthak Jayeta. Why Tata means only Brahmanaha and not therefore? Because Hetu is already there where Tvat is given. Therefore Tata has not a role to play. So Tataha Brahmanaha Savayavam Jagat Pruthak Na Jayate. Na is the Niravayavatvat Na. Na should be connected with Jayeta. So Savayavam Jagat Niravayavat Brahmanaha Na Jayeta. The world which has got parts cannot be born from something which is partless. So partful Brahman cannot be born of partless Brahman. So Jagat Pruthak, Pruthak means separately, as it is said in Arambhavada, So world cannot be born as a separate entity from the partless Brahman, because the world is partful. Partful Brahman cannot be born of partless. A partful Jagat cannot be born of partless Brahman. Alright. Then, so even we can say Niravayatvat, Nirvikaratvam, etc. But he is highlighting more the Niravayatva and Savayatva. Savayavam Jagat, Niravayavad Brahmanaha na jayata. In fact, Jagat Brahmanaha na vastutaha arabhyate. So Jagat cannot be really started from Brahman, because Brahman is Nirvikara. Only from Savikara some modification can happen, or some entity can be born as a separate thing. But this Brahman is Niravayava, therefore Nirvikara, and therefore the world cannot be born. That way also it can be seen. But here he is highlighting more about Savayava Jagat not being born of Niravayava Brahma. Alright, then Parinamavada also. Parinamavado api cha na prapanchotpatti vishay yujyate karanavastunah प्राक सिद्ध कारणावस्था परित्याग पूर्वक अवस्थांतर प्राप्ति ही परिणाम. So parinama general definition is given स्वस्वरूप परित्यागेन रूपांतरापत्ति ही parinama. Parinama means attaining another state having given up the earlier state. That is earlier swarupa, having given up one's own swarupa, attaining another state. That is called parinama. And generally we give the example of Dadhi, Kshira and Dadhi. Here it gives the Mrut Parinamaha Gataha. How Mrut Parinamaha Gataha? Because Mrut. Padma, it is 11:15 class today. Okay, no problem. So she is making face that, wow, how come? That is how it is. We are not early. So, alright, so Mrut Parinamaha Gataha. So how Mrut Parinama Gata it can be said? Because Mrut, having given up its own this form, lump form, spherical form, it assumes a particular form, that is the Ghatakara, and that is called Parinama. So Mrut Parinamaha Gataha means having given up its Purvavastha. Purvavastha means the lump avastha, the Mrut Pindakara avastha, now assumes the Pruthubuddhodara Kruti, different avastha, and therefore the Mrut will be called Parinami Karanam, and Gata will be called Mrut Parinamaha. In Sanskrit, Parinama and Parimana, we have to be very careful, otherwise Parinama and Parimana people think same. Parinama means the modification. Parimana means the size. So it is Ramayana, sometimes problem happens. So Mrut Parinamaha Gataha iti Pradhana Parinamaha Jagat Pradhanasya Parinama. Pradhana here means the material principle. Primordial material principle is called Pradhana. Pradhiyate Sarvam Asmin iti Pradhanam. That in which everything is resolved. That is called Pradhanam. Pradhana Parinamaha Jagaditi cha Sankhyaha Vadanti. Sankhyaha are telling two things. One is that Mrut Parinama Gataha and iti Vadanti, and Pradhana Parinamaha Jagat iti cha Vadanti. Therefore Chakara is justified. Now, second was Brahma Parinamaha Jagaditi Kechan Upasakaha Manyante. Some Upasaka think that Jagat is Brahma Parinama. Tadubhayam. Tadubhayam means Jagat is the Maya Parinama, the Pradhana Parinama. Maya Parinama is okay. Pradhana Parinama, and Jagat is the Brahma Parinama, both. That is called Ubhayam. Sutra Bhashyakara Devihi Khanditam. Sutrakara also said that the Pradhanam is not the main Karanam. The Brahman is the main Karanam. In the sense, that Brahman is the fundamental of everything, not Maya. So that is said in the Sutra, Ikshater Na Shabdam. Bhashyakar also has explained, and the Jagat is the Parinama of Brahman. That idea is dismissed, especially by Mandukya Karikakara in the Advaita Prakranam first sloka, Upasana Shrito Dharma. There, Advaita Prakranam. In the Mandukya Karika, 4 Prakranas are there. Third is the Advaita Prakranam. In that first sloka itself, he has told that this is Krupana Spritaha. So that view is dismissed. That once upon a time there was Brahman, and now Brahman has become the world, and again world or the aspect of the world which is Jiva can go back to Brahman state by sadhana. What is this?
Somebody is unmuted.
Mike?
No, they need to mute.
They have to mute.
Oh, there, please mute. Mute yours. Okay, otherwise I have to mute.
You can't
We
mute.
will not be able.
We cannot mute?
I can mute.
Achha, you can mute. Okay, alright. Okay, now Shanti, so no problem. Some cooker whistle or something, I don't know. Alright. So, that idea is dismissed, that Brahma Parinamaha Jagat. It looks very appealing to some, that Jagat has come from Brahman, has modified, and afterwards again it will become Brahman. One person in Bangalore used to say reversibility. So it can be reversed back to Brahman. And Jagat is including Jiva. So what is their thinking? That Jiva has come from Brahman, is modified to be, Brahman is modified into Jiva, and then we can go back to Brahman by sadhana. So Upasana you do, what will happen? That you will go back to Brahman state. So that type of idea is there, some Upasaka. Therefore is Kechana Upasaka, I said. And that view looks very appealing, no? That you have come from Brahman. Then, chalo, wapas chalo. So go back to your home. Chalo dildar chalo. So let us go back home. So that looks very good. But then what happens? That Brahman becomes Savikara. Some people say, no, let Brahman be whatever it is. I like this view. So that is why Vedanta is not, in Vedanta, things are not decided by what to like. Some people have this obsession. Swamiji, I like this idea. Liking is not the decisive factor for truth. Otherwise, some people will say, Swamiji, I like to be Jiva also. So then Jivatvam doesn't become reality. Alright, so these things we need to keep in mind. Swamiji, it doesn't appeal to the heart. It should appeal to your rational faculty. Liking, not liking is not the issue. Otherwise, some people argue this, I don't like to be sugar crystal. I would like to taste sugar crystal. You like or don't like, it doesn't. Alright, so here it is Khanditam. Tadubhayam, these two ideas of Jagat being the Pradhana Parinama and Jagat being this Brahma Karanam is Khanditam. Then somebody will say, but you will say Maya is the Parinama, Maya Parinam Jagat you are saying. So Maya is a Mithya Maya which is non-separate from Brahman. That is the Parinami Upadanam you accept, we don't have problem. But there Pradhanam is a Paribhashika Shabda. Pradhanam is a material principle independent of Purusha, and it is Satyam. And that is the Parinami Karanam of Jagat. That is what they are saying. Therefore we dismiss. If they say, no, your Maya and our Pradhanam are same, then we don't have problem. Good. Then you are joining our group. We don't have issue. Alright. Now, Chaitanyasya Akashadapi Sukshpatvena Nirevatu Deva Upasaka Matam atyantam asangatam eva. So we discussed that in some cases we accept Sankhya Mata because except 2-3 points there is not much difference. So we accept them. Sometimes to make things easy. Say in Gita also some language of Sankhya is used. Bhagavatam very extensively used. But this mata, Upasaka's mata, that from Chaitanya, the Brahman, this Jagat has come, that idea is Atyanta Sangatam. Why? Because Brahman cannot modify into this Jagat. If Brahman is also Savikara, then it will be Anitya, Mithya, and therefore we don't have any reality to own up. There is no moksha also. Itam parinamavada api na yujyate atra. Okay, up to this I think we had seen. Okay. Now, vivartavade tu पूर्वोक्त दोष लेशः अपि न संभवति. अपनी बात आ गई. So, vivartavade, in the view of apparent modification. What is vivarta definition? Swaswarupa aparityagena rupantara pattihi vivartaha. Assuming another form as though assuming another form without giving up original nature, original form. That is called vivarta. And that vivartavada, so vivarta, one translation is apparent modification or seeming change. So vivartavada means the view of seeming change, apparent modification. There is a book called of Vichara Sagara, translation, English translation one person has done, Chennai. Generally it is good. In fact, she has done the translation of Moolam and Tippani and everything. So she has written the word disfiguration. What is called that word is transfiguration. Have you heard this word transfiguration? Transfiguration, they use this word in Bible. So assuming, but their translation, when I said let me check, I like this word because we were the one word I was looking for. So I said, wow, fancy word we got, transfiguration, looks nice. But then I said we should not use just like that. We see that's for fancy, just because fancy therefore it is good. No, we have to check. So the word used is the transfiguration in Bible in the form of assuming exalted form. So Jesus Christ assumed some very, very bright, shining form after death. That is called transfiguration. I said, chhod do. I had to let go it. I didn't like it, but because this is not correct, because it doesn't convey that idea what we want to say. Vivarta doesn't mean that assuming exalted form. Assuming some form, that idea is there. But it is not. So when I happen to see that person, I will tell that transfiguration is a very good word. See, one thing is if I say transfiguration, you will write it and you will understand what vivarta can be called transfiguration. So no problem. It will not create any problem. But by chance, if you are also like me and you see in Google and see what is the meaning of transfiguration, then I will be in trouble and you will be in trouble. So let me tell you that vivarta means the seeming change, apparent modification. That is the idea. Okay. So now he says vivarta vade, in the view of apparent modification, seeming change. Tu, however, Purvokta dosha leshaha api. So to contrast with the first earlier two views. So to Purvokta desha leshaha, even a bit of the defects which have been mentioned earlier in the earlier two views, na sambhavati, is not possible, does not happen at all. So in Vivartavada, the defects which we have mentioned in the Parinamavada and the Arambhavada, those defects are not there even a bit. Achha. Then now he explains what is Vivarta. Karanavastunaha nitya siddha swarupa parityagena eva anyatha dhana matram vivartaha iti shruti Ityanubhava siddham. He says, Karana Vastunaha, of the entity called cause, causal entity, of the causal entity, Nitya Siddha Swarupa Parityagena, without giving up the Swarupa which is already established, ever established. So, without giving up ever established nature, essential feature, Anyatha Bhana Matram, appearing, merely appearing differently. Mere appearance differently appearing, just appearing differently. I want to translate all three words. So, anyatha, differently, matram, just, bhana means appearance. So, just appearing differently on the part of causal entity without giving its original nature is called vivartaha. This is just exact translation I give. What is the simple idea? Is something appearing differently without undergoing any change is called vivarta. Something appearing differently without undergoing any change, that is called vivarta. Iti, in this manner, Shruti Yukti Anubhava Siddham. In this manner, it is established based on Shruti. Where is a Shruti? Very beautiful Shruti. Purusha Suktam. Ajayamano Bahuda Vijayate. There cannot be better Shruti than this. Ajayamanaha Bahuda Vijayate. Without being born, without undergoing any change, Bahuda Vijayate. It is as though born in manifold manner. Purusha Suktam it comes. Alright. There is Shruti. And Yukti. Yukti also is there because the Shrauta Yukti, that Brahman is presented as Niravayava. In the Mundaka Upanishad it comes, which we chant in this Guru Tirtha Puja. Virajam Brahma Nishkalam. So that Nishkalam means Brahman is partless. In Brahman there is no division whatsoever. So Brahman is Paripurna and without any division. And therefore Brahman cannot undergo any change. And there cannot be any other fundamental cause other than Brahman. Therefore Brahman has to be Vivarta Karana. It is something like, only this person can do this job. And he said he has not done the job. So what is possible? That there must be some imagination or some virtual the appearance of that person doing the job. Otherwise not possible. So the real seal was not used, but seal we are seeing. Therefore what? Some fake one was used. That's how we see. So similarly, Brahman being what it is, it cannot undergo any change to become the world. At the same time, there is nothing other than Brahman really existing. And therefore what? Brahman alone appears to be this world. That alone is Yukti Siddha. And Anubhava, we also have got Anubhava of Rajju Sarpa, etc. We have seen Rajju Sarpa is there or Tire Sarpa is there, so many things. And I told you that I saw the tree as elephant. So possible. So many Anubhava we have, that something appears to be different without undergoing any change. Shruti Yukti Anubhava Siddham. Now he gives Anubhava. Yata Shuktyado Rajatava Bhasaha. We have to supply for our completion of understanding Vivartaha. So just as the appearance of silver on the shell, etc. is Vivartaha. Kasya Vivartaha? Shuktyadehe Vivartaha. Kim Rupaha Vivartaha? Rajatadi Rupa Vivartaha. So the Vivarta word is like Parinama is used for both appearance is also called Vivarta, and in which form the Adhishthanam is appearing, that also is called Vivarta. So Rajju appearing as snake is called Vivarta, and Sarpa also is called Vivarta. One will be called Arthadhyasa, other will be called Dhanadhyasa. Adhyas Bhashyam we have studied all this. Alright. So both for Arthadhyasa and Dhanadhyasa, both this Vivarta word is used. Alright, but generally it is used in the sense of here that when they say that Rajata is the Vivarta of the Shukti, then it is used in the sense of Arthadhyasa. Ayameva Pakshaha Vedantabhimataha. Ayameva means Vivartavadaha Pakshaha eva Vedantabhimataha. Abhimata means accepted. This view alone is accepted by Vedanta, accepted in Vedanta. Alright. And what is the view in Dashtanta? Dashtanta Rajata Shukti ka Rajata we said. Shukti is the Vivarta Karanam, and this Rajata is Vivarta Karya, Vivarta Rupa Karya. Alright, in Dashtanta what it is? Atra Jagat Vivartopadana Rupadishtanam Mayopahita Chaitanyam Eva. Vichara Sagara is there, no? Therefore it will discuss very much elaborately. Whatever is not there in our mind also he brings. So he says, first of all, let us put it simple. Brahman is Jagataha Vivarta Karanam. Brahman is Vivarta Karanam, apparent cause. The cause for the apparent change is Brahman. Brahman is the Adhishthanam, the basis for the appearance of this world. So that is called Brahma Jagataha Brahma Jagataha Vivarta Karanam. It is a cause for apparent change, seeming change, or the basis for seeming change. And this Vivarta Karanam is sometimes called Adhisthana Karanam or simply Adhisthana. So Vivarta Karanam or Adhisthana Karanam both mean the same. Or sometimes Adhisthana Karanam is simply said Adhisthana. Like we say Rajjuhu Sarpasya Adhishthanam. Or we can say Rajjuhu Sarpasya Adhisthana Karanam. Or Rajjuhu Sarpasya Vivarta Karanam. Alright. And there further also we say Vivarta Upadana Karanam. Nimitta Karanam doesn't come into the picture when we are talking about Vivarta. Okay. Atra Jagat Vivartopadana Rupa Adhishthanam Mayopahita Chaitanyam. Now, simple understanding we give it this much. Brahma is Vivarta Upadana Karanam of Jagat. Now for Vedanti, it is not enough. Which type of Brahman? We thought only Advitya Brahman. No. It is Shuddha Brahma or Mayopahita Brahma or Maya Vishishta Brahma. Three options. There are three options. Out of these three, which one? So he said, Atra means Vivartavade. In this Vivartavada, Jagat Vivartopadana Rupa Adhishthanam. Adhishthanam, the basis, the Vivartopadana Karanam, Vivarta Upadana Rupa Adhishthanam, which is in the form of Vivarta Upadana. That's why we say Vivarta Upadana and Adhishthanam have same idea. So Adhishthanam, which is in the form of Vivarta Upadana Karanam. For what? Jagat, the world. So Adhishthanam in the form of the Vivarta Upadana Karanam for this world is Mayopahita Chaitanyam eva. Is the Chaitanyam Brahma which is having the Upadhi of Maya. Na Maya Vishishtam. Not Brahman which is, or Chaitanyam which is endowed with, attributed by Maya. So here he is making the technical difference. Simply what we say, Maya Sahitam Brahma. Now Sahitam has got both the meanings. Maya Upahita and Maya Vishishta, both we convey generally by Sahitam. But technically speaking, it should not be Maya Vishishtam, or even they will not like the word Sahitam, they will say Maya Upahitam. So Maya Upahita Chaitanyam is the Adhishtanam, Vivarta Karanam of this Jagat. Not Maya Vishishtam. Not Brahman which is including Maya. Alright, so what is with this idea we have seen earlier? So we have got two types of Vyavartaka. Vyavartaka means distinguishers. One is called Upadhi, other is called Visheshana. Visheshanam also is Vyavartaka. Vyavartaka means distinguisher. That which distinguishes the entity from other entities is called Vyavartaka. Now, this Vyavartaka can be included in the main entity, or it may not be included in the main entity. It does the job of Vyavartanam, but not included in the main entity, then it is called Upadhi. And if it is doing the job of distinguishing from other entity, Vyavartaka job it does, and is included, considered to be included in the main entity, then it is called Visheshana. I will give the example so it will be clear. Suppose we say that the house, Devadatta's house, is the one on which over which the crow is flying now, or in front of which a cow is standing. So which one is Devadatta's house? In front of which the cow is standing. Now cow becomes what? Upadhi of the house. Cow does the job of Vyavartaka, distinguishing from other houses. In that situation, where only cow is standing in front of Devadatta's house, otherwise 4-5 cows are there, we cannot use this. So cow is distinguishing Devadatta's house from other houses without becoming a part of the house. Then it is called Upadhi. But suppose if I say that the house with this blue painted wall, then what? It is Visheshana. If I say blue, the blue house, in fact we say white house or blue house, yellow house, the what is called cream house. So when we use such word, it is doing the job of Vyavartanam, and it is part of the house. You cannot remove just like that. It is a part of the house. So then it is called Visheshanam. One Swamiji gave a nice example. He said, when we say that bring water, that time you will bring water in something. Some glass will be there, jug will be there. No, Swamiji, I will bring in my, what they call, what this called? Palm or this cup, hand cup or I don't know what they call it. You understood, no? This. What is the English word is there for this?
Cup palms.
Is there a word? Karthik?
Palm.
This is palm is this
Cup palms.
joint palm, joint palm. Cupped, joint palmed. In Sanskrit it's called Anjali. It's called Anjali. So there also this also becomes what? Is Upadhi. So it becomes when you have to bring, so it becomes Visheshana. So bring water when we say, then vessel is a Visheshana, because it is included there. You cannot have water without the vessel. But when you say I drank water, then the vessel was what? Only Upadhi. So Jalam Pitavan. So there Jalam, the Patra Jalam Pitavan, that Patra will become only Upadhi. Present but not included in Pitam. Pitam is drank. But when anitavan, that time vessel has to be included. So depending upon the context, certain things will be Visheshana, certain things will be Upadhi. So Jalam Pitavan, that Patra will become this Upadhi. So there also Patram is there present, but it is not included in water. When you say Jalam Anitavan, that time vessel has to be included. Anayanam cannot be there without vessel being there. So Jalam Anitavan, etc. There it is Visheshanam. So what is the definition of Visheshanam and Upadhi in Vedanta Paribhasha it is given. So Anugatam Sat Vyavartakam. Vartamanam Anugatam Vyavartakam. That is called Visheshanam. Anugatam is included. And Vyavartakam distinguished. Vartamanam present. So Vartamanam Anugatam Vyavartakam is called Visheshanam. Vartamanam Ananugatam Vyavartakam Upadhihi. So Upadhi will have three characteristics. What is? It is present. It is present along with the main entity. And it is not included in the main entity. And it is distinguishing the main entity from the others. That is called Upadhi. Vartamanam Ananugatam Vyavartakam Upadhi. And Vartamanam Anugatam Vyavartakam Visheshanam. So that which is present, included and distinguisher, that is called Visheshanam. Alright. So this is how the Maya Vishishtam Brahman and Maya Upaitam Brahman. So now here Vichara Sagara Cl is saying that which type of Brahman is Jagat Adhishthanam. Jagat Adhishthanam Brahman cannot be Shuddha Brahma. Why? Generally we think Adhishthanam word we have used. I used to think like this. Once we have used Adhishthanam, then everything is discarded. No. Even Adhishthanatvam for Jagat is possible only when Maya is accepted. Without Maya, there is no reference of Jagat. So Jagat is Dvaitatmakam and Brahman is Advaita. In Advaita Brahma, there cannot be any Jagat. So from the standpoint of Brahman, there is no Jagat. So when you bring Jagat, then Maya has to be brought in. Now question is this much. Maya has to be brought in, but which status is to be given? So we say that it is Upadhi status. Maya is not included in Brahman when we look upon Brahman as the Adhishthanam of Jagat. So Maya reference is required. Without the reference of Maya, this Brahman cannot be called even Adhishthanam of Jagat. But Brahman which is not endowed with the Maya has not become the Visheshana for Brahman, only Upadhi for Brahman, then this Brahman becomes the Vivarta Upadana Karanam or Adhishthanam. So Maya Upahitam Brahma is Jagataha Adhishthanam. Not Maya Vishishtam. Maya is not becoming adjective for Brahman to become the Adhishthanam. So that is what is said here. Parinami okay. Jagat Vivartopadana Rupadhishthanam Mayopahita Chaitanyam Eva. Natu Mana Maya Vishishtam. Maya is not included. The Maya doesn't have to become a part of Brahman to become the Adhishthanam of Jagat. So na Maya Vishishtam. So it is Vartamanam, it is Vyavartakam, but natu Anugatam, natu Antarbhavitam. Okay. Now he said, but there are some people say like this. that Maya Vishishta Brahman is Jagat Adhishthanam. He said, Avivekidah tatha kathayanti. Non-discriminative people say like that. What? That Maya Vishishta Chaitanyam is the Jagat Adhishthanam. Tatha means Maya Vishishta Chaitanyam Jagat Adhishthanam iti kathayanti. Ke kathayanti? Avivekina kathayanti. Means what? It is not a correct expression. So tad na vaktavyam. That should not be told. It is a wrong thing. But see, sometimes this with great difficulty person is understanding upadana karana, nimitta karanam and vivarta karanam. Pura bichara gasping. Now again you make a difference. So pura mar jayega. So isliye we only say Brahman with Maya is Adhishthanam. That's good enough. So that person, whether he understands Upahita or Vishishta, what we want to say, that for Brahman to be the cause of this world, Maya has to be brought into the picture. That much we want to convey. So उसमें फिर वो गली में गली तो मुश्किल हो जाए, तो it will be very difficult. Therefore what we say, only Maya Yukta Brahman, Maya Sahitam Brahman is Adhishthanam. So we say for communication, but it is not an exact expression. Alright. Now, further he explains, what is the status of Maya? Parinami Upadanam Maya. So Maya is modifying material cause. Why will we say like this? Because this Jagat is a Nama Rupatmakam, that Nama Rupatmakam Jagat is in unmanifest state is called Maya. And therefore Maya is called Parinami Upadanam. So Maya when manifest is become Jagat, and when Jagat remains unmanifest is called Maya. And therefore Maya is called Parinami Upadanam. But this Maya is Mithya Maya, natu Satya, Yatha Sankhya Abhimata. So the way accepted by Sankhya we are not accepting. Parinamitvam we accept. But Satyatvam we don't accept, and we don't accept that it is independent of Brahman. They accept independent. They say Maya is one entity and Purusha, which is Chaitanyam, Brahman, is another entity. We say no, Ekam. So Arambhavada says what? From many to one. Sankhya says one to many. Now Vedanti says what? One to one. So one to one means even when Jagat is there, what remains is Brahman alone. Utpatti kale api tattvam ekameva. So there is only one entity. So one to, Vedanti will say one to as though many, really one. Arambhavada will say many to one. Many are avayavas are there making one avayavi. Sankhya will say from one pradhanam many fold Jagat. Vedanti will say from one reality as though many but really one. So these are the three views. Okay, so Parinami Upadanam Maya. Vivartopadanam Upahita Chaitanyam iti. Vivekes is written, so we have to write Viveke Siddhe or Vivikte Siddhe. Viveke is better. Viveke, the printing mistake is there. Viveke is there. So Viveke Siddhe. So even when this type of distinction is established, what? That Maya is a Parinami Upadana Karanam and Maya Upahita Chaitanyam is Vivarta Upadana Karanam. So Chaitanyam main thing. Chaitanyam is Vivarta Upadana Karanam and Maya is Parinami Upadana Karanam. Iti Vivikte Siddhe api or Viveke Siddhe api. Even though such distinction is established, Tadubhayam Maya Vishishta Chaitanyam iti vadanti Vivechana Kushalaha. That Vivechana Kushala. Vivechana Kushalaha. So even though these two things are distinct, Maya is Parinami Upadana Karanam, Brahman, Mayopahitam Brahman is the Vivarta Upadana Karanam. Even though such distinction is there, Tadubhayam. Tadubhayam is Parinami Upadanam and Vivarta Upadanam. Both of them. Maya Vishishta Chaitanyam is Maya Vishishta Chaitanyam iti in this manner vadanti. Vadanti means talk about. Who? Vivechana Kushalaha. Those who are not expert in discrimination. Vivechana means discriminative inquiry or discrimination. akushalaha, non-expert. So those who are not expert in discrimination, they will say that parinami upadanam also is upahita maya vishishta chaitanyam, and vivarta upadana also is maya vishishta chaitanyam. So which is not correct. Exact expression should be maya is a parinami upadanam and maya upahita chaitanyam is vivarta upadanam. This is exact expression, but those who are not, not making the fine distinction, like a green. Then green also so many shades are there. But a person like me, green itself is difficult to recognize. Now you say this green and bottle green and this green, no. So they will not be able to make out. So vivechana kushalaha, those who are not those who are not doing fine distinction, fine taste is not there for them, they will say that everything is maya vishishta chaitanya. But accurate will be vivarta upadana is maya upahita chaitanyam, parinami upadanam is maya. Alright. So this is about upadana karanam. Now next explanation is about nimitta karanam. यत् कार्यस्वरूपे न प्रविशति किंतु कार्यात् पृथक् स्थितं सत् कार्यम् उत्पादयति यस्य नाशेन कार्यं न नश्यति तन्निमित्त कारणम् इति अभिधीयते. We have already seen that which is not entering into the body configuration of the effect and remaining apart from the effect, it produces the effect, and by whose destruction the effect is not destroyed, that is nimitta karanam. Yatha घटस्य कुलालः दंडचक्रादयः च निमित्त कारणानि. Just as for the pot, kulalaha, pot maker, and danda chakra, etc., they are nimitta karanani. They are called nimitta, occasioning cause or efficient cause. So for our information here, one thing to be noted, generally when in Vedanta we talk about nimitta karanam, we talk about only pot maker. Pot maker is nimitta karanam, clay is the upadana karanam. But Naiyayikas, they bring all this, danda, chakra, etc. Then what is there a contradiction? No. We say the pot maker along with danda chakra. So there is no problem, nimitta karanani. It is not that way, Naiyayikas pot maker will be different than Vedantis. Only is a way of presenting. So nimitta karanani. And how is it so? For Lakshana Samanvaya, na kulaladeha ghataswarupe pravishanti. The kulala etc. are not entering into the body of the pot. Otherwise, when we buy pot, the kulala also will come. And kulala will come, danda comes, chakra comes. My God, pot will be so heavy. And ghatat, so they are not entering. Ghatat prathak bhutaha ghatat utpadayanti, remaining separate from the pot, they create pot. And ghatotpatti anantaram kulaladinam nashe api ghatana nashyati. Even when pot maker etc. are destroyed, the pot will not be destroyed. Otherwise, what happened that our mason has made the house, and then mason died, everything collapses. Imagine. So, and also architect also will die because he is also karanam, nimitta karanam. Engineer will die, my God. Anybody dies, so house gone. So car will be destroyed, the car designer or whoever it is done. So imagine if that happens, what will happen? Thank God it is not there. Itham upadanam nimittamiti cha karanam divedam. In this manner, the cause is twofold, upadana and nimitta. Here, second footnote is there. Karyotpatti matra karanatvam nimitta karanasya lakshanam. Tacha nimitta karanam aneka vidam. So, the lakshana, the definition of nimitta karanam, intelligent cause, is karyotpatti matra karanatvam. Being the cause merely for effect is the definition of nimitta karanam. Tacha, and that nimitta karanam, occasioning cause, aneka vidam, is of many types. It can be in the form of a maker, it can be in the form of this device, or the machinery which is running that device, electricity, all of them are nimitta karanam. So everything other than Upadana Karanam is Nimitta Karanam. Like in sometimes in I think Vyakarana they give no. Other than this, all are will be given one Sanya, one Karyam. That much. So here also it is like this. Upadana Bhinnam Karanam Kim? Nimitta Karanam. Whatever is there other than material cause is the efficient cause. Here somebody has raised the question. So I would like to deal with that. He said Karyotpatti Matra Karanatvam will not come in Ishvara. So Ishvara will not become Nimitta Karanam. Because Ishvara is not only the Karanam for Utpatti of Karyam. Ishvara is the Karanam for the Sthiti also. So Karyotpatti Matra Karanatvam will not come in Ishvara. So Nimitta Karanatvam will not come. See, it's a valid question. So Ishvara is, it's going to be said, Ishvara is both Upadana and Nimitta. When we say, what do we mean? That Ishvara is material cause like clay in the pot. And Ishvara alone is playing the role of the pot maker in the Dashtanta. So whatever role is played by the pot maker in the Drishtanta is played by the Lord, by Ishvara. So here Karyotpatti Matra Karanatvam is to be applied in this Ishvara. How will we be able to apply? By saying that whatever Nimitta Karanam status is there for pot maker in Drishtanta, being the only cause of the creation, that status also belongs to Ishvara. Ishvara has got the status of being the material cause like clay, and Ishvara has the status of being efficient cause as well. In that manner only we will be able to apply. Otherwise, Karyotpatti Matra Karanatvam Ishvara will not have. So what we say, whatever role is played by someone as Nimitta Karanam, so whatever role of Nimitta Karanam is played by someone, that role is played by Ishvara with regard to the Utpatti of Jagat. Therefore, Ishvara is called Abhinna Nimitta Upadana Karanam. Okay, more we'll see in the next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri